Good morning, students. Welcome to Mobile Application Development Lab. Today in this video, I will show how to design a simple calculator, and this is what the VTU syllabus. In VTU syllabus part A second program, we have designing of the simple calculator. So here we go. Develop an Android application using controls like button, text view, edit text for designing a calculator having basic functionality like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And this is what how our simple calculator design should look like. So we have the simple calculator. So this make use of text view, and even this result, it is also making use of the text view. That means the text which is displaying for the user. Okay, and next we have a box that is the edited text. So whatever the digits or whatever the operators you are going to make use of to perform the arithmetic operations, that is going to be displayed, as well as the result is also going to be displayed in the edit text box. Now the numbers ranges from 0 to 9, and we have 4 arithmetic operators, that is plus, minus, multiplication, division. Along with that we have dot also. That means we can make use of dot for the addition or for the multiplication of a floating point numbers like 1.2, 1.3, like that. And we have equals. So on pressing of this equals button, the result needs to be displayed. Then clear, to clear whatever the data we have entered in the edit text, so that is going to be clear by pressing of this clear C button. Okay, now we will go to the Android Studio. Just switch on the Android Studio. Create new project. Select empty activity. In my previous videos I explained why we are selecting this empty activity, since we will be not having any functionalities if we select this empty activity. If you select any other activity, by default you are going to get with certain features, like either it can be a scroll bar or you are going to get with some text. So that is what it is not be there in the empty activity. So that's why we prefer to select the empty activity. Just give next, and this is what the application name you are going to give. So since it is a simple calculator, I am giving it as simple calculator. Then we already know that we are preferring with the Java language. So finish. It takes some time, so until and unless it is completely build your project, you no need to touch any other icons. So wait for few minutes until this Gradle build get finishes. Okay, yes, our Android workspace is ready now. So just go for the activity main.xml. Since we are going to perform the designing operation in this XML file, we are going to XML file now. Allow, while by default you are going to get this. Just delete that, we no need that, we won't require that. So now if you look at this design of a simple calculator, the first and foremost thing is you need to select with the text view, that is to display simple calculator, right? And even for a result also we have the text view only. So just drag and drop the text view somewhere here. Later we are going to set with the constraints. I am just dragging two text views, and I am changing first text view text in the attributes. See, look at here in the attributes we are changing that for the simple calculator. If you want, you can type it in the capital letters, or else you can go for the next option, that is caps, text all caps. I will show where it is. So just give simple calculator, press enter, and that is going to be displayed in your design part. Okay. Now by highlighting that, scroll down till last where you are going to get with the text. Okay, see here we have an option that is text alignment in a particular text box where the text needs to be aligned. So that is what text alignment. So I am making it as a center. Okay, then text all caps. If you are by mistakenly, if you have typed the characters in a small letter, you are going to make this as a select so that it is going to display all the characters in a capital letter. Then this is what the text color. So if you are interested in designing, you can make use of any colors here. I'm just selecting that. And even that is not displaying properly, right? That means it is in a little bit small, the size is small. So I'm just changing the text size as 24. Yes, it is fine. And now for the text view, that is for the result, you can change it to result. Then same thing, you are going to do all the necessary changes which is required for the design. I'm making this a purple color for the result. Then change the size of the text to whatever you want. I'm just going to drag and drop here. Okay, but still if you observe this in the component tree, here it is showing that it is a constraint layout by default and you are getting this red marks. This means that we have not provided the constraints to the text view, that is for the simple calculator as well as for the result. That means that when you run this in the emulator, for example, I'm going to show how it is going to change the display when you display the simple calculator and result. If you look at observe here the location where we have the simple calculator and result, and I will show how it is going to be display in the emulator. Okay, later I will tell you why we need to put the constraints for all the buttons or all the UI components what we are going to make use of in the designing. Fine. So let's wait for few minutes so that it will be just the emulator is going to be display now. Yes, emulator is initiating and I need to turn on my emulator. If you also get the blank screen, you need to make use of this turn on turn off button. Okay, turn on button. So this is what the previous program have done in the Android Studio. So that is what it is displaying now, and it is launching activity. See here it is overlapping, simple calculator then result, it is overlapping. So this is what we are going to face the problem when we are not giving the constraints for the whatever the UI components we are going to make use of. So that's why you select this and you are going to get this white color circles, right? So just drag and drop here. Okay, so similar way here also you do. You're going to, once you are provided with the constraints for the particular text views, you are going to get with strings. That means that you have given the constraints, you are fixing the position for the text views. Now you can fix the location of the text views wherever you want, and this will never change even after you run in your emulator. So this is what you are going to do. So now for sample, I'm just going to rerun this. I'm just going to terminate that first and I will rerun that. Now you will come to know what this makes the difference. Okay. See, this is what the difference before we give the constraints and after giving the constraints for the text views. So now let's not waste the time. We will continue with the next part. See, if you look at this, we are having a edit text box to entering of the data. So go for the text in the palette. Go for the text in the palette. Here we have plain text. So drop this. Yes, when it is highlighted, you just go. Your text automatically it is displaying as name and I don't want anything to be displayed there. So just erase that and press enter. Then text alignment, it can be any way. Text color also it is fine. But still I am going to give, since it is we are having with the white background, I am just going to give with the darker one. Then the displaying of a text size. And same thing, you need to give the constraints in all the 4 directions without forgetting that. Just give the constraints and fix the position of the edit text here. Okay. So we have the simple calculator, result and a edit text. So next, for the edit text, we need to change the ID. Here, if you look at the attributes, we have declared attributes section. There you are going to change with the ID. Why we are going to change the ID only for this edit text or for the button means we are going to make use of this XML reference in the next file, that is a main activity.java file. That means there is a connection between the XML UI components what we are using for the displaying purpose and as well as for the main activity.java. So that is the reason we are going to change this ID as we want. So I'm going to make this as a edit text only, edit underscore txt. So in short, I'm keeping this. And it is going to ask for the refractor. Just click on refractor and it is okay. You may get with the question why we are going to change only for this edit text or for the buttons but not for the simple calculator as well as for result. Why? Because simple calculator and result, it is not going to perform with any action. Okay, just it is for the displaying purpose for the user. Okay, it is just like a static one, it will not change. But here in the edit text, whatever the data you are going to enter, that is going to be changed, right? So for this, it needs to perform certain action. It needs to perform certain action. So that is the reason we are going to change the ID of this edit text or the plain text what we have a box. Similar way, next if you look at the design, I have the digits from 0 to 9, then 4 operators and dot equals clear symbol. So I'm going to make use of a button. Why? Because on pressing of 1, on pressing of 2, certain button needs to perform with certain action, right? On pressing of 1 digit needs to be displayed here in the edit text. If you look at here, the whatever the name I have given for this edit text will be displayed in this screen, right? I hope it is visible properly now. So go for the button, select button, drag and drop. Okay, So now this button, I'm going to make a change for, yes, button. Text, it should not be text. I can start with 1. So 1, I'm typing here in the declared attributes, press 1. And I'm going to decrease the size of this, so 1, it is fine. Now instead of drag and drop from this, you can just make use of Control C and Control V. I'm making use of Control C, then Control V, and it is overlapped here. You just drag and drop to the same line, and here we are going to get with the same corresponding line. Why we are doing this Control C and Control V means we are not going to change the size of a button for the individual one. So that is the reason I am going to make use of Control C and just click outside of this button what you have copied, and Control V, it will be overlapped there only. You just drag and drop. Okay, later you can change with this text whatever I have within the button. Okay, so again same thing, Control C and Control V. So just it will be overlap there. You can make use of this. Okay, similar way, now just select all the 4 buttons. It is the easier way of making a copying. So just drag and drop. So again just select all 4, copy, Control C, then Control V. If you feel this method is difficult, you can directly drag a button from here in the palette, just to drag and drop each and every button. How many buttons I need? I need 4 for the 16 plus 1, 17 buttons I need, right? So already 3 set, it is over. Just Control C and Control V, it will be overlapped there. You just drag and drop, and 16 button, it is over, and one more button I need. So Control C and Control V, it will be overlapped here. You just change this. So this makes us the easier way. Okay, so 1 is already there. Now I need to change the text of this button. So 2, press enter, then select this and type 3, press enter, select 4, press enter. Similar way you do for all the buttons. Okay, so 5. Why I am showing this clearly means, for the beginners, this Android Studio, you may feel it is difficult, so that should not be feel like that. So that is the reason I am doing slowly, as well as each and every step I am showing. I am not skipping any step for that reason. Okay, so just 8, press enter. Similar way I want 9. You can design in any manner. Okay, and now I left with 0, so I am giving 0. So let me make this button as dot symbol. So just press enter, and this one as equals for the result. So press enter, and I left with 4 operators, plus, select and change in the text. That is the simple way. Minus, multiplication, then division. Then I left out with clear. So C. Okay. So now I have seen all the 17 buttons out there, but still our work, our designing part is not yet finished. Why? Because one more thing is, I need to give the constraint for each and every button that is left out. So that's why I'm getting a red marks here. If you just mouse over on this red mark, you will get with the displaying of a message. Wait, I will show. See, this view is not constrained. That means it is not fixed in a particular position in a screen, that is in a activity area. So that is one reason. And On clicking of this button, it needs to perform certain action, right? That means that I need to change with the ID because I cannot remember. Say, look at here in the declared attributes ID, button 2 is there. For the button 1, that is a one digit, whatever it is showing, I have button 2. And for this, I am having button 3. If this is the case, how can I able to remember which ID is there for which button? It is difficult, right? So that is the reason we are going to prefer to put our own ID for a individual button, so that when establishing a connection between the Java file as well as for the XML, I can make use of this reference whatever I have given for the ID. It is just like your alias name. For example, you will be called by your name, right? If I call you as XYZ or some other person as ABC, how can I able to identify? It is not at all possible, right? So that is the reason we are going to give a preferable name for individual person. So that is the reason here also we are going to make use of such ID, where since it is a 1, the first digit, I am just going to give it as button underscore 1. I can make use of special characters as well as digit also for this ID. So it is not at all a problem if you give like this. So button underscore name, press enter, and here it will ask us for the refractor, and you will come to know what is the necessary of this renaming of the ID when we are making use of this buttons in the main activity.java file. So give refractor. So similar way, select to give the similar name which needs to be remembered later. So button 2, just give refractor. Only designing it will take time in this simple calculator, but not the code. Button underscore 3, just press refractor. Then similar way, button 4, go for the ID, change this to btn underscore 4, press enter, and here give refractor. Similar way you give it for all. So btn underscore 5, then btn underscore 6, I hope you all are understanding. btn underscore 7, btn underscore 8, btn underscore 9. This one we will take it as btn underscore 0 only. For this, I am taking btn underscore dot, sorry, I have changed for the text. Yes. btn underscore equals btn underscore plus btn underscore minus btn underscore multiplication. So I have given btn underscore mul, and similar way for this I have given btn underscore div for the division, and for the next one, that is the last one, btn underscore clear. Okay, so this finishes our 90% of the design. Now only the next thing is I need to give the constraints. Either you can give the constraints to the whole activity area, and you can be able to drag and drop this. Okay, similar way you are going to get with for all. So give this for all the buttons. Okay, yes, if you observe now, I have given the constraints for all the buttons what I'm making use here. So just I will show how I have given the constraints as like before. I have given here also to the activity area. Just click outside and here. One more easiest method what I observed is, see, just first you are going to put the constraints for all the buttons. For example, if I'm given this clear and I have given the constraints also, later just copy this and paste that. So paste it outside. So click outside and paste here. So that will be highlighted. So that means even with the constraints it is going to copy. So that is one easiest method. You are going to have that once you create with one button, you finish all the id, then the text as well as with the constraints, so that when you copy and paste whatever the changes you have done for the single button, that will be replicated even for the button what you have copied. Okay, so since I don't want this, I'm just going to delete that. Now we will check whether this it is working, whether the design is working fine. So run this. This is what the emulator. Yes, if you observe, the design is proper. And if you look at a few changes like 5, 6, 7, 8, I have given constraints in a different manner. I will tell you. I'm minimizing that. Yes. See, I have given the constraint for this button, which is top of the fifth button is going to be assigned to the bottom of the first button. So that is why it is displaying like that in the emulator. If you observe properly, it is not correctly aligned. Okay, so that's why we are not giving this reference as another button. Instead of that, we are going to making use of the constraints, or we are going to fix the position with respect to the activity area, or with respect to this particular screen where we are doing the design. So this is what a simple part of simple calculator design, and I hope you people also have done that. And we will continue with the next video for main activity.java. So on clicking of this any of the button as of now, it is not going to perform any action. Just see, one, I'm clicking on this, it is not going to perform any action because it is just a UI where we have designed as of now to make this to work or to perform a action for the individual button. We are going to write up with the activity, that is a main activity.java file. So we are going to make use of few methods, and we are going to make use of a complete logic in this main activity.java, and we are going to study this in the next video. Thank you all